It's review part 2. You are here for the law of sines, law of cosines review part 2, where we will be going over problems number 7 through 11. So just the next 5 problems. Part 3 will contain the last 5 problems. So let's just get started right away. Problem number 7 tells us that A is equal to 25 degrees. Side length A is 125, and side length B is 150. So when I draw this triangle, sure, something like that. Let's see, A, B, C. We know A is 125. We know B is 150, and we said that A was 25 degrees. So I see that this is an example of side-side angle, meaning that we will be using our law of sines. Now I see that my angle is less than 90 degrees. So because it is less than 90 degrees, I have to compare side lengths of the triangle with our height. So to find the height, remember that's going to be our adjacent side, whatever that may be, times sine of our angle. So in this case, the height is going to be 150 times sine of 25. And when I plug that into my calculator, that gets me 63.4. So my height is 63.4. I now have to compare that to my opposite side, or in this case, A. So we can say that 125 is in fact greater than 63.4, or A is greater than H, or that opposite side is greater than the height. So since that opposite side is greater than the height, that means we for sure have at least one triangle. Now, in order to see whether we have more than that, I'm going to compare my opposite side to the adjacent side. I see that 125 is less than 150, or side A is less than B, or the opposite side is less than the adjacent side. So since the opposite side is greater than the height and the opposite side is less than the adjacent side, this gives us a 2 solutions problem. So this problem will have 2 solutions. If you come across a problem with 2 solutions, you can stop there. We only need to go when there is 1 solution. You must only continue then. Like our next problem, I can tell you right now, our next problem is going to be a 1 solution. So let's take a look. Let's see, problem number 8. We have side length C is 125. Angle A is 37 degrees. And angle B is 58 degrees. So if I was to draw this triangle, ABC, ABC, C is 125, angle A is 37, angle B is 58 degrees. So this configuration here is angle, side, angle. I've said sine a lot in the last couple days. Angle, side, angle, meaning we will be using our law of sines. And since this is not an ambiguous case, it's just 1 solution. So I don't need to show my work for that. I can just state it. But now I can go through and solve for what I need. So I see since I already have 2 of my angles, I can solve for the third pretty quickly and say that angle C is going to be 180 minus 58 minus 37, giving us that C is 85 degrees. Excellent. Now we can go through and solve for our other 2 sides. So let's solve for side B first. So let's see. Sine of 85 over 125, the stuff I already know, is equal to sine of 58 over B. Now, when going through the homeworks, I've seen a lot of people, either due to like handwriting or just the weird writing on a Chromebook, are changing their numbers throughout the problem, and I just want you to be careful that there is an 85 and a 58 here, so make sure you're not switching them when they don't need to be. From here, we're going to cross multiply and have B times sine of 85 is equal to 125 times sine of 58, Then I'm going to divide both sides by sine of 85. Get 125 times sine of 58 over sine of 85. And when I plug that into my calculator, I'm going to get 106.41. So let's write that down, 106.41. And our last step is to solve for side length A. So we're going to set this up again in the same way. We'll have sine of 85 over 125 is equal to sine of 37 over A. We'll cross multiply to have A times sine. That looks like an 8. Let's erase that. There you go. I don't know why that eraser is so big. Okay, let's see. A sine, there we go, of 85 is equal to 125 times sine of 37. And I will divide both sides by sine of 85. So we get that A is equal to 125 times sine of 37 over sine of 85. And when you plug that into the calculator, you should get 75.51. 75.51. There we go. Let's try another problem. Let's move up to problem number 9. I'm just getting all this set up on my computer. There we go. Okay, so let's see. Problem number 9. Looks like this one also already gives us a triangle. How nice. How convenient. C, B, A. It tells us that angle C is 53 degrees. Tells us that angle B is 44 degrees. And it tells us that side B over here, I forgot, that's not that side. I forgot to do the sides. Side length B is 7. So this is an example of angle, angle, side, meaning this will be using law of sines. And again, since this is not the ambiguous case, no matter what, it is just going to have one solution. So let's work through this, see what we can know. This is very similar to our last problem. Again, we're going to start with the angle. So for angle A, we can say that's 180 minus 53 minus 44, and that is going to give us 83 degrees. And now let's solve for our sides. So the pair we know now is our b's, so we'll have sine of 44 over 7 is equal to, let's solve for a next, sine of 83 over a, and cross multiply, and times sine of 44 is equal to 7 times sine of 83, divide both sides by sine of 44, and when you plug that into the calculator, you should just get 10, which is kind of nice. So we'll put that 10 in here, and then last but not least, we will solve for side length C. So you can use sine of 83 over 10 if you want. I just kind of like to use the same setup of my pairings for consistency. So that's why I'm doing sine of 44 over 7 is equal to sine of 53 over C. We'll cross multiply to get C times sine of 44 is equal to 7 times sine of 53. Divide both sides, so you get C is equal to 7 times sine of 53 over sine of 44. And you plug that into the calculator, you're going to get 8.05. And that right there is a whole other, sorry, I'm just laying down on my answer key. It's a whole other problem. We got 2 more to go for this one, for this video. Let's do it. I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty quick video. We shall see. Let's see our next problem. Problem number 10 tells us that side length A is 14, side length B is 9, and side length C is 6. That's a triangle, all right. Your drawing skills do not have to be perfect. So let's see, B is 9, A is 14, C is 6. This is me trying to draw at least, I don't know, semi-accurately. But I can see here that this is using side, 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 all three sides. So I'll be using the law of cosines for this problem. And law of cosines, no matter what, we're just going to say it's a one solution. Okay, so law of cosines, we got our 3 steps. First one is to actually use law of cosines. And remember, please solve for your largest angle first, and that's going to be across from your largest side, which means we're going to be looking at angle A, since that is across from our largest side. So we'll have 14 squared is equal to 9 squared plus 6 squared minus 2 times 9 times 6 times cosine of A. I'm so sorry, I keep hitting something with my wrist. I have to be very careful about how I'm writing. Still getting used to this. So as you can see, I'm using the equation that has angle A in it, so just be careful of that. So we do all of our squaring. We get 196 is equal to 81 plus 36 minus 108 times cosine of A. Combine what we can. We got 196 is equal to 117 minus 108 times cosine of A. Please do not subtract 108 from 117. The multiplication takes precedent. So instead, we're going to subtract 117 on both sides and get 79 is equal to negative 108 times cosine of A. Divide both sides by negative 108. And then to get A officially by itself, you need to use cosine inverse on both sides. And again, notice I haven't put anything in my calculator yet. Now is the time I can do that. I would do that all at once. And I end up getting that A is equal to 137 degrees. So that was step 1. Step 2 is to use your law of sines. So now I'm going to use my law of sines to solve for my next largest angle, which is going to be B. So let's use sine of 137 over 14 is equal to sine of B over 9, cross multiply. 14 times sine of B is equal to 9 times sine of 137. Divide both sides by 14. Oops, that's 137. And then to get B officially by itself, I have to use sine inverse on both sides. So B is equal to sine inverse of 9 times sine of 137 over 14. Now that B is by itself, it is calculator time, and you end up getting 26 degrees. So that was step 3. Our last step is to use our triangle sum theorem, or say that, hey, angle C is just going to be 180 minus 137 minus 26, resulting in 17 degrees. And that is an example of law of cosines. Let's do just one more problem together, and then we'll be done with this video. So if we scroll down, black pen, problem number 11. All right, problem number 11 tells us that angle A is 138 degrees. Ooh, I do not know what happened there. There we go. 38 degrees. Side B is equal to 15. And C is equal to 25. So when I draw this out, I'm going to move where the iPad is because I've been having some troubles with my wrist. As I've been doing this, I accidentally just paused myself. That's a triangle. B, A, C, B, A, C. So let's see, we have side C is 25, side B is 15, angle A is 138. So based off of this, looks like we have side, angle, side, meaning we're going to use the law of cosines. Oh, I am just all over the place today, aren't I? Sorry, y'all. And law of cosines, we're always going to have one solution. There we go. So first step, let's solve for the longest side. That's going to be opposite our angle that we know. So I'm going to set this up so we can have a squared is equal to stuff. So we'll do a squared is equal to 15 squared plus 25 squared minus 2 times 15 times 25 times cosine of 138. 15 squared is 225 plus 625 minus 750 times cosine of 138. Combine what we can. A squared is equal to 850 minus 750 times cosine of 138. This is as simplified as we can make that right side. So in order to get a by itself, I'm going to square root both sides and just take the square root of all of this stuff. And now that a is by itself, I can plug it into the calculator. Get 37.51. And now that we have a pair of angles and sides that we know, we can use our law of sines, or our second step, to solve for one of our other angles. So let's solve for angle C. Let's do sine 138 over 37.51 is equal to sine of C over 25, cross multiply, divide both sides by 37.51, last step is to sine inverse both sides so you can get C completely by itself. So once you've done that, try plugging this into your calculator all in one go. Once you do that, you should get 26.5 degrees. Now we have our last step, our favorite one, triangle sum theorem. I can just say that angle B is 180 minus 138 minus 26.5, telling us that angle B is, sorry, that looks very messy. Let's redo that. Is 15.5 degrees. And there you have it. This is problems 7 through 11 on the law of sine, law of cosine review. If you have questions on the first 6 problems, go check out video 1. If you have no questions for me, feel free to head to the next video.